Yo, Edert. Even though I'm down here on a little quick mid-year break in Knysna, I thought I'd still have time to catch up with you guys and tell you what went down this weekend. I've got a lot of spies out there, so I'm always able to bring you the information. So this weekend it was the next round of the National Off-Roads. That was up in Swaziland, Pigs Peak. And by all accounts, looks like an absolute cracker of a race. Very kind of forestry, almost Sabi-esque in the layout of the track. So a lot of fire breaks, a bit of technical, and some gnarly rock climbs as well for the guys to deal with. So as was the case in round number 1 down at KZN, a kind of a mixed bag of results. So let's get straight to it. Bradley Cox walked away with another overall win, and this is just a huge situation because he kind of came out of nowhere at the beginning of this year to win round number 1 of the opening National Off-Roads down in KZN. And it looked like it may be a little bit of a one-trick pony situation, a very technical route that very much suited his style of riding and the small bike style of track. This round number 4 win again proves that it wasn't a fluke. He is in great form, and he's now straight back on point as far as the championship goes in the OR3 category. He actually walked away with the big overall win once again, like he did at round number 1, so proving that it was a small bike track and proving that his specific set of skills came good. He was in a war the whole way through the weekend with Jared Coetzee, and Jazzman is really another rider in the form of his life. It's going to be between those two for the national title in the OR3s. I really do think that Cox is in probably with his best shout of a national title at the moment. So those guys went 1 and 2 overall and 1 and 2 in the OR3s. In the OR2s, another standout ride coming from Gareth Cole. It's not that he's come from nowhere. He's been in or thereabouts for the last couple of years, but this season he's just able to take wins, and that's going to see him climb the points tally. At the moment it's Taki Bojajis that leads in the championship points for the OR3s, but Cole is starting to inch up to him and really start to close him down. So it's going to be very, very interesting to see what happens. It looked like Lawrence Mahoney was going to be a player in the championship until Cape Town, where he broke his collarbone, and then, you know, just not really finding his true form on this format of a track down at Swaziland. On the big bangers, it was Kenny Gilbert who did a standout ride. He went fastest in the prologue in the OR1s, and that would see him running right out front in the early stages. Yeah, he got beaten by a couple of small bikes, but that's not what he's worried about. He wants to take the wins in the OR1 category and beat Ross Branch. He did just that. More importantly, he put enough space between himself and Ross on the day to get the championship point gap now down to 1 point going forward into the rest of the season. So in the past, when Ross has taken 2 wins in the desert, he's been able to run and hide after that. Kenny's not letting that happen this year, so it's really going to be a nail-biter to see who walks away with the number 1 plate. Remember, Ross has got the number 1 plate, Kenny's got the number 2 plate, and that's been the story for the last couple of years, and Kenny is desperate to get that number 1 plate back on, and he is in stellar form. So that was OR1s, 2s and 3s. In the senior gate, the man that's on the real big comeback trail is Wade Blau. He's on the lighter 300 bike. He's kind of done a Lawrence Mahoney that Lawrence did 2 years back, where he picked one bike that he was going to compete in for GXCCs, off-roads, nationals, whatever. And it looks like he's gone for the 300 Smoker, and he's getting a little bit of support from Big Ron at Roost KTM on the 300 Smoker. He just left the rest of them standing this time around. So what has always been the Bolly dominance in the senior category, and Bolly, you know, he's running the number 1 plate at the moment, so he's running number 12 on his bike, but you know, he's the reigning champion is what I'm talking about. But Wade Blau may well have enough in him to try and take the fight. It may come down to his bad day 1 result at the desert that will hold Wade Blau back, but at the moment Bolly is in good form, and he hasn't had a DNF yet, so he should be able to walk away with the title, but Blau is definitely pushing him close. In the seniors, with no Wayne Master making the trip up, it was always going to be the Peter Hall show. So once again, the big dog walked away with the numbers on the big 500 KTM. And then in the high school category, Ryan Peltzer did come good. So he's a very, very all-round rider, is Peltzer. He's had some rough times in the GXCCs. He's yet to take a GXCC win this year, but on the nationals, and that's really what he wants. On the nationals, he's walked away with a nice win at Swaziland, and it really did fit all of his riding style. A little bit of cross country, a little bit of enduro. It kind of had everything in the mix, and the guys that made the trip up there, the feedback that I've been getting was that it was very much an old school style of off-road that made you think about people like Daryl Curtis and Alfie Cox, where you were very much an all-round rider and you would come good. That's also why Kenny did well. He's a very all-round rider. It's not just flat out. Kenny has taken enduro wins in the past as well. So very interesting situation up at Swaziland, and it's kind of answered some questions and left some questions unanswered going forward into the rest of the championship. For me, Cole looks like the biggest threat to Taki Bajaj's dominance in the OR2s. For Kenny, closing in now just 1 point behind Ross. That's the big title fight for the OR1s. I don't think anyone else is really going to get involved in that one at the moment. It's always going to be the guys chasing for third place at the moment. That's going to be riders like JC Nienaber, Lo Schmidt, who did have a good ride this time around as well, and possibly Sharon Moore on certain kind of tracks as well. In the Masters, it's going to be Peter Hall who's going to walk away with the season. In the high schools, still up for grabs. You know, Cade Manty walked away with the first win. Ryan Peltzer's taken this win. High schools is definitely a flip of the coin to see who can just stay strong and not have DNFs the rest of the season. And in the OR3s, straight out dogfights between Bradley Cox and I want to say Stefan Van Deventer. He was a championship title fighter early on in the year, but now it looks like Kutsia and Cox are the riders that are going to be walking away with the cheese. Seniors, yeah, Blau and Bolly. That's going to be the story from now on. But right now we'll wrap up a nice quick one for you guys here at Hollywood Hills, and next year, that's how out of tune I am here as well. I'm in holiday mode. Next week I'll report back on Romaniacs, where we've got all the big swingers: Wade, Double T, Flanagan, and of course, who else is there? Good Sight. Those are the boys that are going to be going and seeing if they can really hustle their way inside the top 5. Certainly 1 or 2 of them will be a top 5, but we should see the majority of those riders walking away with top 10s. For now, I'll see you guys next week. I'll come back with a little bit more sunburn, and I'll sign off. Thanks for tuning in to Hollywood Hills once again. Laters.